Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about slider, and this in particular is the Rhino ROV Pro that I've been using for around 6 months, and I'll show you what I like, what I don't like, if it's actually worth it. So let's go. And there he is. So as you can see, it's pretty small, and I think it's around 40 centimeters long, and his weight around 1.1 kilo ish, and yeah, it's pretty small. And this is normally my setup with the Sony a7R III and the 1635 f4 of the Canon. So first of all, the first thing I did when I got it, well, the first thing after a week, I replaced the ball head that it came with this one. So basically, I just took an old Manfrotto ball head and replaced it with the one that came with the slider, which is something like, which is this. And as you can see, it's a little bit plasticky. And after only 1 week, I broke the. I'll show you why I did broke. Because it comes with the. So it comes with the plate, which you can take it out and put it in back, which is this one, something like that. But it's supposed to be a button here, so you press it and you release the plate. But after a week, I think I was hiking around Gredos, which is a mountain range around here, Madrid, and after a couple of hours of hike, I didn't find it. So I think it came out while I was hiking. So yeah, I had to replace it. I was thinking to replace it anyway because I mean, it is quite solid, but the thing that I had to replace every time the plate back and forward with the camera when I would, because I go normally this plate on the camera, which is the Manfrotto ones that goes with my tripod. Every time I will just take it out, take it back, so it was a little bit a pain. So I found out that it was actually pretty easy to replace it. So I bought this thing on Amazon. It was quite cheap. I think it was like 10 euros, something like that. So you just, so how it works is just, you know, put it back together, and then just, that's it. And then now we have a more solid ball head. Of course, it doesn't go down as the other one, but you know, it's pretty good though. Anyway, so now even with the Manfrotto plate, I just put it in like this without any problem. Yeah. So just like, and that's it, easy peasy. So why I bought this slider? Well, last June I went to a trip in Kyrgyzstan, where we were hiking for a few days in a row, like 4, 5, 6 days. So I needed something as light as possible, and my main slider, which is the dynamic perception stage 1, which is quite light, but not as light as I wanted for this kind of hike, because I think all set up I think is the weight is around 3 or 5 kilos, something like that, because as well you need to carry an extra tripod to get that one working. So you got 2 tripods, one side, one on the other side. And with this one, basically everything was down to 1 kilo and something, 1 kilo 1, 2 or something like that, and only 1 tripod. So it was much lighter. And so with this one, I was able to achieve those glider movement even on remote location, and it was actually pretty amazing. There is something that I don't kind of like it, for example the ball head, but you know, there is a solution. So this is how it works. Basically, you got one screw down on the middle, so you put just on the tripod, but you need a pretty big tripod to get this one stay horizontal, because normally if you got the camera on the left, on the right, basically it just bend on the left, on the right. So I know it's not ideal, but in my case I don't see the point to get a bigger tripod, because the main reason I got this one is to get lightweight stuff. So if I get another heavy tripod, then I could just use my lightweight tripod and use my other slider. So I try to be as level as possible, and you know, as you can fix it in post-production, basically you shooting a little bit wider, and then it's gonna be okay. Then you have like these mini legs, which are quite useful. You can just put it down like this, and that's it. So I kind of like these legs, so you can put the slider basically everywhere. Another limit about this slider is that you cannot do vertical movement or diagonal movement while you're shooting time lapse. You can do it while shooting video, because the motor is always on, so it's always dragging. But while you're shooting time lapse, as you do like a move, shoot, move, the motor will stop working between the shot. So every time you got the camera going up, shoot, and while you're shooting it goes down. So it goes like shoot, down, shoot, down, shoot, down. So it's not really working. There is a maximum, I think a maximum angle that you can do. I think it's like something like this, maybe 30 degrees, something like that. I did use it a few times, and it's working because it doesn't take too much weight, and the motor still, you know, this one doesn't go down. So I show you what I mean. So if I see, and this is what it does. But if you put like something like this, something like that, it's not going anywhere. So you know, it's a bit limit. There is a little bit of limit, but you can work with. Something else as well that is a bit awkward, I think. Awkward, yeah. So you have here the plug for the camera. So what you do is just you put the interval cable on the camera, and then basically, well, because you have to have like a long cable, something like this that expand, and then you put it on the camera. But sometimes this is get a little bit, when it goes to the bottom, it stretch a little bit too much. So what I do is actually use an extension cable, which is pretty long, but because I have this one, but you can use another small extension cable, and then basically using it like this. And now you don't have any problem with the cables. Let's turn it on. It feels pretty cool though. I mean, it's such a small slider, you can get a pretty good time-lapse movement. The build quality of this rod is pretty amazing. It's aluminium, very strong, and I don't know if you can see it, but I use this one quite a lot lately. Everywhere, every time I go in the city or hiking around the Sierra around here in Madrid, sometimes it's much easier to get this one on your back, because you know you get less weight, and if you don't need like 3-axis movement or long movement, this is perfect to just bring it everywhere. I actually did my latest film of Toledo, which this one and one tripod, and that's it, with one camera, and that was my setup for the whole week. And I could walk around without any problem. My backpack was like 10 kilos, something like that, so it was much easier to go around, instead of like having 15 or 20 kilos of bags. It made my life much easier. Also, this is very easy to set up. You just take the legs out, put it back, put it down, make sure to level the camera, and that's it. You're done, with the one cable, and it's amazing, pretty easy. And now let's talk about the app, which as well is pretty good. So let's go and show you what I mean. So to connect it, you need to turn on the slider. There you go. It connects via Bluetooth, so you go to the app. Once you connect it, you need to choose which you connect, because they have the Pro version and the mobile version, which is just the mobile. So you connect with the DSLR or mirrorless, and that's it. This is the app. I normally shoot on time-lapse mode, of course. It is the best way to do time-lapse on this slider. As you can see, you can change the shutter speed, the clip length, and the duration of the shoot. What I normally do is put shutter speed as like this on cam, so I will set the shutter speed on the camera directly without thinking about on the app. Then I will change the clip length, so basically normally I will shoot like 15-second clip I normally have, and then the duration. I wish to have the option to set up the interval and the number of shots on the app, but at the moment I cannot do it. So Rhino, if you're listening, please do the update. So what I need to be careful on this app is the interval. So normally if you have like 1 second shutter speed, you basically must have at least 3 second interval, because if you go lower than 3 seconds and you have only 2 seconds between as buffer, so between the camera stop shooting until it starts shooting, sometimes after a while basically there is a delay. I don't know why, but there is a delay between the motor and the interval. So basically what it does, it will stop for a couple of shots and then trying to keep up again, so it will move a little bit faster to keep up with the lost shots. I don't know if it was clear enough, but basically there will be a gap between shots, and it's not gonna look very nice. I normally keep at least 3 seconds, or almost 3 seconds between shot, and that's it. It just moves from one side to the other, so you cannot actually start it from the middle and make it like a small movement. So, which is a shame. I think I would like to have this kind of feature. Sometimes in some situation I would like to start from the middle instead of starting from the beginning. But and basically that's it. You then start, and then you can just leave your phone in your pocket and you start shooting. Pretty easy. So the price of this thing, I think, is around $400, and I pay, because I bought it directly from the website, so it came from US and to Spain, and I paid I think around €150 for duty tax, which it's you can expect that, because it's from the US. So in total I think it cost me 500 €400, something like that. I didn't buy any bundle, so it was just the slider and the ball head, and it came as well with this head, which is for the phone, but I never use it. You can use it. I mean, it could be interesting to shoot with the phone, but sometimes you have the option. And there is another place that you can actually buy it on Europe, which is buyslider.com, which is a website where you can find a lot of slider, but as it is in Europe, so you don't have the duty tax surprise at the door when you receive it. Something that I like as well, there is a USB mini, I think it's mini here, so you can basically charge the slider while shooting if you have like a longer shoot. And it's pretty fast to charge in. I think it takes a couple hours to charge. I think I'll put here the right number. Yeah, and you can charge with the XNR batteries on the go, and pretty amazing about that. The battery on this thing is pretty amazing. I use it constantly and charging, I don't know, maybe once every week or something like that. They say 24 hours, of battery, but I haven't actually checked, you know, or done a 24-hour straight shoot with this one. But I can say I can shoot like 4 days in a row, maybe doing like 7 time lapse of half an hour, 1 hour, and still got plenty of battery, so I'm happy with that. So in conclusion, I definitely recommend this slider as a second slider, not as a main one, because if you need like another second or third axis, like a pan and tilt, you're not gonna have it with this one. So yeah, for the main slider, I recommend to buy a bigger system. So you know, it's more expensive, but at least you have all the features that you need. I hope you enjoyed this video and this review. Yeah, let's call it a review. So nobody pays me to say all this stuff. I bought this slider with my own money, and I wanted just to share my experience that I have and all my thoughts on this slider. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thumbs up if you have it, or if you don't, it's okay, I don't care. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao ciao.